Andrew, you are filming it for the first time, even outside of us. From where I'm sitting, it just feels super smooth. We are absolutely convinced this is the safest platform in the RV industry. I push every button. I get on my hands and knees inside, crawl through the coach looking for any fit finish issues that need to be addressed. We're really known for taking customization to another level, so we've got the capability to do just about whatever you ask.
It is a beautiful day today here at Featherlite Coaches in Suffolk, Virginia. Today we found the new 2026 Prevost Featherlite double slide. We're here with Jimmy Adams, president of Featherlite. How are you today, sir?
So happy to have you here, Andrew, and so excited to introduce you guys to our brand new show coach that we call Palisades.
Well, we are pumped up to see this coach, a brand new 2026 double slide.
Correct.
What's the story with this coach?
So double slides, you know, we don't build them as often, but we have a real following for these coaches because they're so useful when you're underway. Like folks that like to travel a lot, the double slide gives really good room when you're open, but it is so usable when you're on the road. So it's got the big super slide in the rear for this, make a big stateroom, and an aft bath. Really nice floor plan and beautiful finishes. It's a really kind of a hip interior and a cool exterior that really kind of calls back that feel from the mountains around Lake Tahoe. That's kind of the theme on this coach.
And I love what you guys do with the themed coaches. I skied at Palisades a couple years ago, one of the most beautiful parts of the world.
Yes.
And we've seen several different Featherlites. We saw Durango,
Yep.
another 2026,
Yep.
and over the years we've seen some incredible designs, but this interior is totally different than anything we've ever seen. And you know, how did you come up with that inspiration for this coach with that Palisades Lake Tahoe area?
Yeah, just thinking about just the scenery and the feel of that California, kind of the whole ski culture out there, the beautiful scenery. Like this kind of has almost like a mountainscape with those beautiful blues like you see from Lake Tahoe. That's what really struck me as we were starting to put this together. And then we ran with it. We gave our designer, you know, just all the license to really make it as hip on the interior as she can to give that kind of cool California ski chalet feel.
And they nailed it, and I'm really looking forward to showing the folks inside. Now, are you able to disclose what the price of this coach is?
This is, again, a show coach. It's got all the bells and whistles. Sticker on this coach is $3.15 million.
Okay, so over $3 million. And what is it about Featherlite where you're able to command an over $3 million premium?
Well, when you look at the fit and finish, all the details, really all of the craftsmanship that goes into this build, you're talking about thousands and thousands of man hours from a group of folks that really have amazing skill sets, background in yacht building, and they bring all of that kind of craftsmanship into each Featherlite coach.
Well, and I know you've been a motorhome user for several years, and you've really pushed your team to focus on a lot of the creature comforts to make the experience better for the end user, and I appreciate a lot of those little details that you've gone through in this coach. Now, you mentioned it's a show coach. Is it available for sale if someone wants to purchase this coach?
It is. It's got a commitment later in October for the IMSA Petite Le Mans race and the Autumn Festival at Mountain Falls in Lake Toxaway, North Carolina, and then will be available for delivery immediately afterwards.
Oh, great. So if folks are at either of those locations, they'll have an opportunity to see it in person?
Yep, and we'll show by appointment here.
Okay, so if folks are interested in scheduling an appointment, that's possible through your sales team?
Yeah, if you can't make the show, Jeff Williams or Mark Eisenhart can schedule a showing by appointment here at the factory.
Now, it is a sunny day today here in Suffolk, Virginia. A little bit, almost feels like Florida. It's a little warm here today.
It's not quite as humid.
No, sir. No, sir. But does this coach have the big batwing awnings like we saw in Durango?
It does. We've got full awning package, double awnings on each side, so we can definitely put some shade if you'd like it.
That'd be a big help right now, and then maybe we'll take a look through the bays before we take a look at the interior?
Sounds good. Let's get the awnings out. We'll take a look at the bays.
And you mentioned that we might have an opportunity to test drive this coach?
I'd love to.
Oh man, that'd be an awesome opportunity. Definitely worth watching this whole video, but let's put these awnings out here.
Okay, let's do it.
This is nice having all this under awning space here. Now, this is full awnings on both sides as well?
Both sides, exactly. So you've got front and rear awnings, both sides, and they're 3-position adjustable. And we've got integrated lighting in each awning. So at night, it really makes a nice glow, lights up your patio area.
Yes, sir. And right now we have the slide rooms in on this double slide, but
Correct.
when the slides do come out, we're going to lose about, what, 2 feet, or how deep are they?
Yeah, this is 30 inches.
30 inches, okay.
Yeah, so 2.5 feet.
But still, even with the slide rooms out, we still have a lot of under awning space. And then the big advantage on the door side, without having the double slide, you've got that much extra awning space over there.
Yeah, the patio space is so usable because we don't have any slide rooms extending on that side. You've got 2 deep slides on the driver's side, but patio side is fully open.
So let's take a quick look through the bays over there.
Sure. So I've got the awnings out on the patio side also, so you can see how much space you've got without the slide rooms extending here. And even the bay doors go up on this side, so it all stays pretty much flush to the side of the coach, and you got a ton of space to use.
Well, I know when you and your buddies are out at Sturgis riding motorcycles, I see you guys have all those bikes parked underneath the awnings to keep them out. You know, there's hailstorms that come through there, and something to be said about having them undercover. And even a vehicle, there's enough room to park a car under here. Now, if you get crazy winds like you do sometimes up in South Dakota, is there some sort of a mechanism that makes the awnings go in?
There is. So in each headrail of each awning, they have individual motion sensors. So it's kind of the new way to do it. We used to use anemometers, you know, wind sensors on the roof to reel it in, but it doesn't really care what the wind speed is, like if you're on the opposite side. As long as the awning doesn't start shaking beyond a preset range, it'll stay out. When it starts moving, it's going to reel itself in, and you can adjust how much sensitivity you want. If you're worried, you can go ahead and have it come on in if it starts moving much at all. But you know, they're pretty robust and they're spring loaded, so they can stand a pretty good breeze.
Yes, sir, and it's priceless to have all of this under shade area when you're out tailgating or throwing a party.
Absolutely, I love the patio space.
I see up front here a Featherlite badge, and then the 100th edition, and then it looks like a doorbell camera here?
Yeah, this is a doorbell camera that basically feeds back to the stateroom. There's an iPad on a wall charger mount, so it'll automatically come up so you can see who's at your door. If you're not home, it's going to record on the iPad who is ringing the doorbell, but also it'll connect to your portable device, your iPhone or your Android if you're away from the coach, and then you can speak to whoever's at the door. See who's there, speak to them, either from the stateroom or from your phone when you're away from the coach.
Yeah, really cool. And this is a much more updated doorbell camera than some of the older Featherlites that we've seen back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I see like a code entry here. Is that?
Yeah, so this is the Prevost keyless entry system, and you can see our paint department has painted it out to match instead of leaving it the black plastic. I love their attention to detail here. But yeah, that's your keyless entry for the coach.
Yes, sir. Now going through the bays here, what's going on in bay 1 here?
So bay 1 is going to be a vertical pantographic door. So that's one of the things that's different that you can do with the double slide. This door will move up and tuck out of the way. You'll notice it has a little tip out at the top so that you can still open the awning windows. In bay 1, we have full pass-through storage on this bay.
And you mentioned awning windows. What is an awning window?
So on the Prevost, you could specify 2 different types of window. You'll see here, this full lower pane of glass actually opens up like an awning. I mean, it's the way it opens. Or you can order a slider. So it'll slide open basically half of that lower pane. But we do the awning windows. So for that to be able to open up, we use a little bit of a cant forward on the bay door so it doesn't hit the window if it's open. That's a Prevost innovation, really clever. It's just seamless. You don't have to think about close the window before you open the door, no problem.
Well, and then when you have your big awnings in, if there's a little rain and you want to get some fresh air,
the awning type window, yeah, exactly. You can open that.
Yeah, very cool. Prevost and Featherlite are thinking of all kinds of little creature comforts to make that experience better for the end user.
Yeah, that's how we specify those, and these new frameless windows from Prevost are just beautiful, and they're really functional.
Yes, sir.
So in bay 1, you're going to see full pass-through storage. It's got the heavy-duty, all aluminum electric slide tray. On the other side, we've got telescopic ladder and all your camp chairs up against the forward bulkhead. You'll notice the coating on the bay walls and floor. So we don't use any carpet in here that can get wet, get moldy. This is all a heavy-duty epoxy-based Raptor liner that we've coated the entire lower bay sections in the coach with.
It looks very durable, easy to clean, and then I like this kind of a marine vinyl inside the slide tray there.
On the slide tray, we've got a really high quality woven marine grade vinyl flooring material. So it's actually got a nice texture to it that's a bit grippy for whatever kind of cargo you put on here, but it's really nice. They call it luxury vinyl flooring. So this is good stuff, and it's really water and weather resistant.
Such a nice look with that stainless face in the slide tray and then that Featherlite badge there.
Yes.
As we go through the coach, you guys really put a lot of nice touches through the coach.
Yeah, and I'll point out one of the things that we do on all of our coaches, you'll see that all of our door handles are painted out to match. So beautiful factory paint from Prevost, and anywhere we have exterior door handles, we're actually matching the paint. So all of those are pulled off, painted to match, even if the stripes go through. Just an extra detail that we think is part of what makes the difference of a Featherlite.
And there's a lot of man hours that goes into it, so I understand how you get to that $3 million price point when you start, turning over every stone and getting every detail.
Yeah, and the preparation for this paint, a lot goes into it to make sure it's going to last and not chip.
Yes, sir.
Bay 2, another upward opening pantograph that's set up to allow window opening. Full pass-through bay again. And again, I think we're the only converter that does full pass-through bays. Bay 1, Bay 2, unobstructed pass-through. It's got the electric, heavy-duty aluminum slide tray. This guy just rolls out with a button or remote control. Very robust. And then on the forward and aft bulkheads, we put all of our enclosures for the AC power and DC power for the coach. But when you see this thing come out, you can imagine adding the optional bar or kitchen here. It's got plenty of capacity to be able to handle, significant amount of weight. This thing is really stout.
It didn't even flex when you stood on it. I'm surprised at how robust that is.
Well, if you look at the, it's not made with just a channel or flat bar. This is actually an aluminum extrusion that really adds strength to it. So it's a great product, and we're putting it standard in all of the Featherlite coaches.
And this is a very easy to clean. You just stepped on this, but super easy to clean material, that woven vinyl.
Yeah, easy to clean, and it's pretty grippy. So we really like this stuff, and we've had, we get years and years of service out of this. So it's just a whole nother level above carpet in this application.
Yes, sir, and I'm seeing these boxes that have that stainless exterior on them.
Yeah, so we do a nice stainless steel trim package. You'll see it on the end of the slide rooms. But all of our electrical cabinets in here have a full polished stainless steel trim package with a little tasteful Featherlite logo on them. The work that our guys do in here deserves this kind of appearance package. I'm just really proud of the electrical work that our folks do here at Featherlite. So this is DC switching, shade controls. You've got all your exterior accent lighting in this. On the other side, it's going to be your DC distribution panel. When we go around, I want to show you the inside of that. It's an amazing job that they do with how neat and precise they are with the wiring there.
It's not only the stuff you see, but there's a lot of details kind of behind the scenes that really makes a big difference, like the wiring and all those little details.
It does, and I really push our people to take everything to the next level. Just because something is behind a panel or down beneath or inside something, I want it to have the appearance that any customer should be proud to open it up and show what's in there. So it's got to look good, even if people aren't necessarily seeing it day for day.
And I think all of that organization, when technicians go to work on it, just makes their life easier in the long haul.
Yeah, and part of the engineering side, where they're actually designing for service and maintenance as well, it just brings us one step ahead, and the technicians are so appreciative of it.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So let's take a look in Bay 3. This is the 20 kilowatt PowerTech genset within a stainless steel enclosure, a hush box. It's riding on airbags, super quiet, fully isolated, and then you've got the extra rubber isolators on the generator exhaust. So that's something that we add. This has got the Rusty Wallace upgraded cooling package on it. So you can actually see some of the additional intake for fresh air that we've added on the front of the enclosure. And then we've got a fan system that pressurizes this box for cooling performance and combustion air. We've gotten really, really good service from the PowerTech group, and their product has been bulletproof.
Yes, sir. You mentioned Rusty Wallace, who is a Featherlite owner.
Featherlite coaches from Jimmy Adams, just a great friend of ours, a big motorcycle enthusiast.
And we recently saw his new Blue Deuce 2026 Featherlite. Now, you mentioned the Rusty Wallace cooling package, and we talked a little bit about that in the video on Durango.
Yeah.
But what did Rusty push you guys to do?
Well, Rusty is really dialed in, whether it's his motorcycles, his motor coach. He really wants to get the most performance he can get out of whatever he's associated with. Penske's organization will tell you that, and it's in the Motorsport Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Fame for a reason. The guy gets the most out of whatever he's involved with, and he challenges us regularly. Have you thought about doing it this way? Have you done this? So he started looking at the generator on his new coach. He said, I think we can do this better. Started doing CFM measurements, really looking hard at airflow, where the hot air was going, and he made a couple of modifications to his that really actually lowered the operating temps, and it just made the whole system run better. And so we've taken what he suggested and now added it in onto our production coaches, and our gen sets run even cooler.
Well, that's pretty cool when you have a world-renowned race car driver kind of helping with your R&D to push you on the little details like the cooling for the generator. It's stuff that most motorhome owners aren't thinking about, but all those little details that add up.
Yeah, we learn a lot from customers like that. Again, our customers have been very successful in sports, business, whatever their pursuits are. So they're smart people, and we take every opportunity to learn from them.
Yes, sir, and you've got a lot of customers too in the motorsports world that are running these coaches hard.
Yes.
These are not RV resort coaches. They're dry camping, they're pushing them to the limit. So.
Yeah, they do it all. So we got folks that run a lot of miles with them, and then off season they've taken time off with the kids. So they kind of use it in both modes. So it's work and it's play. And again, we learned something from them most every day, it seems like.
Yes, sir.
All right, so next bay back, this will be bay 4. This bay, the overall width you can see is split. Basically, 1/3 of this bay is dedicated to the Prevost driver, cockpit HVAC system. So this is your air conditioning system. On the 9660, they have the latest and greatest version of that, and it is so good. We had issues in the past where when you really get down into the hotter areas in the United States, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and stuff like that, people would complain that, hey, the dash air isn't putting out like we wish it would. So that's something we really challenge Prevost to do, is raise the game on that dash and cockpit air output, and they've gotten it done. So this is basically a 2-phase system for driver and the passenger area, and it is super efficient, and we've been very pleased with its performance.
Yes, so that's a huge update, and that's something that the entire motorhome industry has struggled with, to dash air in a motorhome when the compressor's back 45 feet behind you to push air and have it cool. It's been a challenge for everybody in the motorhome industry.
Yeah, it has, and really feel good about the R&D and all the work that Prevost put in to make this right. So that's the aft 1/3 of this bay. The front 2/3, we actually have a bulkhead here behind which the DEF tank is from Volvo. And in the front, we've got a nice refrigerator freezer combo that's on a little slide out tray. So this is the best performing refrigerator freezer we found in the marketplace from Engel. It will freeze steaks. It'll keep those Miller Lights ice cold if you so choose. Rusty's tested that with us. And part of how we keep this thing performing is we're actually running a full ventilation system that's thermostatically controlled. So this has a heavy duty compressor on it, but in the past, the bay temperature would get up so high that these had a hard time performing. If it's over 120 ambient in the bay, it wouldn't perform well. So now we're extracting the hot air from the bay, and this thing works.
And what's the size of the fuel tank in this coach?
So this carries 222 gallons of diesel. Let's just say you're averaging 7 miles per gallon or so. 220 gallons of fuel. You could put a heck of a dent into that trip to California.
Yes, sir, and you could fill it up on both sides if you want to cut a little time at the fuel stop.
Yep, it'll do a double fill, or if you're just single fill, a lot of people will open the filler on the other side to vent, and it fills so smoothly.
Yes, sir.
So final bay here, bay 5, we've got our outdoor entertainment system. So pull out flat screen TV, sound bar, and powered subwoofer here. You've got a control panel that basically can control everything in the coach. So you can do all of your outdoor lighting. You can do the awnings from here. Basically everything in the coach you could control right here. Here's your awning controls. We can jump back out. If I want to run my slide outs out, if I want to check my tank levels, I can do my shades inside, and I can even do my thermostat. So you can basically control everything on the coach right here from your patio.
And those intuitive touch panels are just, something for the end user to just really make life easy. I estimated about 15 panels or so, maybe even more.
Yeah, there are 15 or 16 intuitive control panels throughout the coach. Just, they're so powerful. and give you so many options, but they're so easy to use. That was the big thing, is make them intuitive. If you can run, you know, your iPhone or Android, you basically have the capability to do this. It's just like using a cell phone almost.
Yes, and we're going to see a lot more of those when we go into the interior of this coach. A lot of functionality with those.
Absolutely. So as we come aft, another note is our battery location. So this coach has the standard Lifeline high performance, the thin plate pure lead AGM battery. It's a mouthful, but those are the best AGMs that we have found. They actually live in this space above the rear axles. So this has been a Featherlite hallmark for decades. This area that's available above the frame is a really good space for us to utilize to put the batteries and major circuit protection there. You don't often need to access it, and it's putting that kind of weight directly over the rear axles and freeing up the base space for better use, for your refrigerator, televisions, other things, and storage. So we just don't take the easy way and put the batteries in the bay, take up that space that should be there for the owner. We put it back here where the technicians can access. Owner rarely needs to see it.
Yes, sir. And are you offering a lithium package as well as the AGMs?
Good question. Good question. We do offer 2 lithium packages. So we have a reverse compatible 24-volt lithium package from Victron. And now we will also be able to offer a Volta system. We just got a debrief from Volta on their next generation system where we can order the shell prepped from Prevost for Volta. So if you want the full high capacity 58-volt system from Volta, we want to make that available.
Okay, and is that something that could be added to this coach later on down the line if someone purchased it and then wanted to upgrade that?
Yeah, so this is compatible, an add-on with the Victron 24-volt system. With the Volta system, we want to order the shell, prep for Volta, and build it with Volta.
Okay, and then I think you said reverse compatible.
Yep.
Can you explain that a little bit?
When I talk about reverse compatible on the battery system between AGM and lithium, basically since we're 24-volt nominal, you can substitute the Victron lithium battery sets, make a change to the charge profiles on the inverters, and then the charge controller for the alternators, and run 24-volt lithium on this coach. Let's say years down the line, the coach comes in on trade, new owner doesn't want or need to spend the extra expense for lithium, you can actually convert back relatively easily to AGM batteries. So it can go both ways. With the higher voltage Volta system, it would be built in from the start, and that would really be, you know, the direction that that coach would stay in is with 58 volt. But reverse compatible on the 24-volt system.
That makes sense, but if someone did want to custom build a new Featherlite with that Volta system, that is an option.
We'll make that available, yes. Next door back is what we call Prevost rear J box. So in here is the chassis batteries, and then our chassis battery charger and our merge system to be able to merge the house batteries to jumper them over to the chassis batteries. So if your chassis batteries are flat when you go to crank up from the campsite, we can basically have a jump start from the house batteries, or vice versa. And then you'll see on this door again where we've used the metallic blue paint to paint the key cover to match. We paint out the bezel on the docking light to match, and then these are our new style marker lights that we fit that are the clear lens with colored LED, and then you've got the chrome bezel that picks up the polished stainless trim package.
Yes, sir, and you mentioned a metallic blue. This is just a striking blue. There's all different shades of blue, but did you source specific colors for this coach?
We did. So we worked really closely with an artist, a motorsport, a graphic designer and painter out of Idaho. Sinsport's the name of the business. You'll see a lot of big time Formula One, IndyCar, IMSA type drivers running his designs. He designed this paint scheme with us, and the blues that we specified were essentially all special colors from Porsche. So it's got a Mercedes Obsidian black, and then these Porsche blues. I believe that's actually a Porsche metallic silver as well. So I love the combination. I feel that deep blue, like that Lake Tahoe color whenever I look at this.
Yeah, they really nailed it with the paint design, and then the interior design really ties it all together. Looking forward to seeing inside, but what's going on in the engine bay back here?
Okay, so last bay, we got the striped door handle. You've actually got additional space available here, like if you need to add other mechanical components, if you want to add like a large size pressure washer, that's what we save this space for. Back here coiled up, you'll see the air brake system, the auxiliary air brake system. This is from the Prevost factory. We specify this option so that you're able to connect up. Big stacker trailers will have air brake and or air ride suspension. And some people run the Air Force One braking system for their tow car. So this is pre-set up from the Prevost factory with the air system. Then we've got a weatherproof box with a 120 volt AC outlet here. You're gonna see 120 volt AC outlet at every bay door. So all circuit protected, GFCIs, and just you can plug in pretty much anywhere you need it.
And you do not mess around when it comes to outlets. I think when we see the interior, you may have more charging stations and outlets than any other motorhome I've seen.
And what is everybody looking for? They want to plug in their phone, plug in their AirPods, whatever. So we try to make them plentiful.
Yeah, plenty of charging power in this coach. Now you mentioned towing a stacker trailer. I know up at Sturgis we see a bunch of Featherlite owners with all their motorcycles packed into huge stacker trailers. Yeah. What's the towing capacity of this coach?
20,000 pound towing capacity on the coach. Got the large size hitch all reinforced, and then again it's set up. This has our tow package plus the air system on it. So we'll take a look inside the engine bay. Here we've got the Volvo D13 engine, solid piece of equipment here. We've got many miles on these, and they are very prevalent in the commercial trucking industry. So I think this is the second highest selling by quantity power plant in commercial trucking in the 13-liter class. So lots of service centers through Volvo for this power plant. Lots of great service out of these as far as the miles, the fuel economy performance, as well as the service interval on this thing. I mean, typically most of our customers are getting a 30,000 mile oil service interval on these, which is pretty significant.
It's a lot of miles without having to change your oil.
It is. Then you'll see the alternator package on the coach. So we specify this particular alternator package. There are 5 alternators. This particular coach will actually have 3 of these 24 volt alternators dedicated purely to the house. So you're making enough 24 volt power going down the road that you can basically run any appliance in the coach. You can have all 4 air conditioners on, and basically we have a power management system through the intuitive control that will keep those 4 air conditioners running 2 at a time, depending on wherever the need is based on the thermostat setting. So really it'll keep you comfortable in the coach, and you don't have to run the generator.
And that's an option from Prevost?
Yeah, these are Prevost installed Bosch alternators. So they carry full Prevost warranty. We just specify instead of 12, we go up to the high output 24 volt alternators. Along with the new D13 Volvo, Prevost developed the electric fan system. So this is a nice development because it replaces the old clutch-driven mechanical fan system on the previous Detroit diesel-powered coaches. So what you'll see are basically 8 electric fans that can start individually and run from 0 to 100% speed that are purely pulling electric power off of the chassis batteries. So in the past, with a mechanical fan drive system, what you find is as you are climbing, you're building heat because you're making horsepower, and now the fan needs to come on to assist with cooling. And when that clutch would engage, the fan gets going. They were estimating it was consuming an additional 60 horsepower. That's gone. Now that we are just running electric fans, it's pulling power strictly from the batteries, and it's not putting additional load on the engine as you climb. So you're effectively feeling about 60 more horsepower when you're climbing.
It's a big difference. And then I've heard cold weather drivers talk about it. It kind of blows the snow and ice out in cold conditions.
Yeah, it automatically does that. So these fans will automatically reverse from intake to exhaust and blow out any kind of obstruction, snow, leaves, debris. So Prevost really does engineering to the 10th degree, and they just developed a wonderful product here that we've had excellent results from.
Well, they have so many buses on the road that are used for so many different applications. Like when they're hauling 50 people, they don't have time to be, breaking down and dealing with stuff. They got to keep folks moving.
Yeah, and you think about how many rock stars, country music stars, cross the country on Prevost coaches. There's no time. The show must go on. So they're all about reliability and uptime. Love that about Prevost.
Now, are these wheels chromed or?
These are actually Alcoa's mirror polish.
Okay.
So you can actually get a factory finish on the wheel that looks almost like chrome. It still requires some maintenance from the polish side, but basically they have polished it down to a full mirror finish. So that's ordered as an option from Prevost.
Yeah, that's a great look, and we saw some aftermarket torque wheels on Durango. That had a really cool look, but I like that super shiny chrome look as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a division within our customer group. Some people can't stand the black wheel look, some people live for it, and then a lot of our customers just dig chrome. It depends on your taste, so depending on what you like, we offer both.
I think for Palisades, that Lake Tahoe, I think the chrome fits that bright feel of this coach, and I'm looking forward to showing the folks the interior. It's super cool.
You're gonna love it. Starting from Bay 5 here on the driver's side, these are traditional flipper style doors because they've got to open from underneath the slide room. This is our plumbing bay that's got basically everything you might need out here. Your tank flushes, an intuitive control panel to handle any of your switching needs, handling any device out here, water heaters, autofill, dumps, hydronic heating, any of that. It also does your tank levels here. You can see all of that from here, and you have a secondary backup. You've got the tank level monitor. You've got a gravity fill, a nice bucket filler style faucet here. Inside the door, you've got the autofill hose, so you can hook this up, run autofill for the tanks, or you can run a city water pressure from this. So this is 50 feet of hose on a marine level wind system. It's got the yacht style Headhunter water pump. That's that high capacity 120 volt water pump. You've got an accumulator that keeps system pressure. And then you see our copper manifolds with the color coded cold and hot switch offs. And then you see some of the paint scheme repeated, custom painted manifold system.
Yeah, so really cool. All those little details, and it's very cleanly done, like we saw with the wiring as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 electric dump valves plus a tank linking valve. So you've got 160 gallons, actually more than 160 gallons of fresh on this. This is probably about 168 fresh on a double slide, and then about 68 black and 100 gray. And if you want to merge and run a single waste tank, that valve allows you to do that. So we're set up with individual tanks, but if you need to merge those, you just do that right here. 120 volt AC GFCI outlet, as is in every bay. Your hose retrieval, cable TV input, and your internet hardwire input. Bay 4 driver's side, you've got the biggest available AquaHot hydronic heating system here. This is all controlled basically through the intuitive control panel, but again, we include redundant control and switching. So here's the factory switching if you ever need to revert to this because of some issue that you might find, and then your AquaHot control digital interface here. So again, all done from inside on the intuitive control, but if you need to, you've got redundant switching here. Same deal, redundant switching for the awnings on the driver's side. You've got a nice compact toolbox here, GFCI outlet, a little bit of extra space here, which often we'll put a small pressure washer setup here. And then these are your dump hoses. So they're taking advantage of that airspace that was above the fuel tank inboard here. Is 220 gallons of fuel, and these run above and have drains on that end. So you stow here, they drain off underneath the coach.
Nice.
We don't have to mount them on the back of a door and take up useful space inside the bay. Bay 3, so this is our version of a yacht engine bay or mechanical room. So super clean, actually quite easy to work on this. I can actually just go right in there and show you how.
That's pretty rare. We don't see a lot of service bays that you can climb into like that.
Yeah, so you've got full access in here. We've got 2 Magnum hybrid inverters plus a third inverter. Continuous output, 4,000 watt, 4,000 watt, 2,000 watts. So we've got 10,000 watts of power here, and these will actually boost to 5,800 watts each. So tremendous amount of power output from these inverter chargers. They're all running 24 volts. This standalone 2,000 watt is actually dedicated to our electronics AV systems and the AC lighting inside, like your decorative sconce lighting is run by this. The reason we do that is to eliminate any kind of flicker you might see. It used to be a big annoyance to me is to see that flicker when a load would turn on. So this eliminates that.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a coach where something happens, there's a little power surge and the lights kind of dim out. So that's not going to happen in this coach?
Nope, that doesn't happen. So that's what this inverter is dedicated to. And then you can see up on the back wall to see the two blue Victron boxes. Those are DC to DC step-down converters. So what that does is take 24 volt and converts it to 12 volt where it's needed in the coach, since we're nominally a 24 volt coach. But what those do is they replace the old battery equalizers. You might see in other coaches like a big cast aluminum chassis that gets like too hot to touch when you're trying to make 12 from 24. So these are super efficient, super reliable, and they're compact. Another point that our technicians really appreciate is you'll see that bolted flange panel back there. That is a full removable access panel to gain access to the back side of the generator. So instead of putting the generator on a slider or something like this and having to, to run big service loops, the generator has full access doors on the patio side, and then here it's got a full removable panel. So if you need to get at alternator, any of the hard to get to service points are all available right there, which typically a hush box installation, you'll never see the back of the generator. So the technicians really appreciate that, and so do the owners. The generator radiator is here and ducted aft. It receives its air through this filtered vent. So we're actually pulling outside air. Instead of cutting a hole in the door, we're pulling from underneath the fresh air from underneath the coach on this side, and then it comes through filter sets on the side and aft side of this box. So inside here we've got 75 feet of shore cord, so a long reach, and it's a Glendenning system, which is again a marine grade system. These are your remote controls for the Glendenning system, and you have a manual switch for it as well.
So with those remotes then, when you're putting your shore cord out, you can actually kind of walk with the shore cord?
Exactly. So you can walk with the shore cord and meter it out as you wish, or you can use the switch, but these are pretty handy to be able to walk it out, especially if you're going to run out all 75 feet of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer having that remote.
Just beside that, you'll see all of the main inverter switches and main DC cutoffs. You've got your shore power breaker for your 120, 240 volt, and then you see it's got the built-in surge guard. So this basically handles your surge guard and your transfer switch and gives you full readout of what's going on with the incoming power so that you don't accidentally feed this power that's got reverse polarity. Okay, so we are at Bay 2, driver's side of the coach, and we're gonna be able to get a closer look at the electrical enclosure and the work that our guys do. So our electrician who's in charge of wiring this panel is fully certified through ABYC, American Boat and Yacht Council. Not easy to get. It demands a very high level of quality and know-how. So these are 24 volt and 12 volt DC circuit breakers. This is from Blue Sea Systems, another marine supplier. Nice labeling with all of the LED indicators for the circuit on the backside. Look how neat and clean every connection is here. We actually use torque screwdrivers to torque every connection to spec. Then it's marked and has a thread locker on it. This is the extra steps that we take every single electrical connection, torqued and marked. And when I do my liveaboard, I literally touch every single connection to ensure that the torque is correct and we don't have anything loose. One of the biggest kind of ghost in the machine problems you might have with a coach that we found is if there's a loose ground somewhere. It can be dangerous and it can be so terribly frustrating to troubleshoot that. So we take a lot of extra time to make sure everything is properly connected, torqued, and marked. On the aft bulkhead in Bay 2, we've got the enclosures for the AC power. So this is your 120 volt, 240 volt power. These are your circuit breakers, all Blue Sea Systems. And then we've got AC switching in this enclosure. So basically the systems in here are going to allow you to toggle AC loads like your Starlink, like your water pump, your air conditioner 1, 2, 3, 4, easily switch those off without having to actually come in and turn off a breaker. So it saves a lot of wear and tear on this switch gear here and allows you to quickly, for instance, dump your air conditioner loads if you're gonna unplug from shore or reattach power to the coach. So nice system, everything's got built-in overrides. Again, really neat, clean job done by the team here at Featherlite.
You mentioned a liveaboard. I've heard you talk about it a little bit in the past, but if folks aren't familiar with that, can you explain exactly what that is when you do a liveaboard?
Yeah, so every new coach, basically when our shop says, we're done, we think it's ready for delivery, final quality audit has essentially been completed, I come in and do a liveaboard on the coach. I spend hours checking, as I mentioned, every electrical connection. I push every button. I get on my hands and knees inside, crawl through the coach looking for any fit finish issues that need to be addressed. And over the years, our team has just gotten better and better and better. Now I'm making more compliments on my punch list than I am actually, calling out issues, but I try to find any and everything. I want to get in the coach when all the systems in the factory are shut down and I can hear any little like buzzing, anything like pump noise, anything that could be an annoyance to the customer, and try to make sure that it's got my seal of approval before it's ever going into the delivery process.
Well, I know your customers have the highest set of expectations. There's a lot of A-list celebrities running around in Featherlite coaches, and at a $3 million price point, I can imagine they want everything perfect.
Yep, so I personally do the liveaboard on every new coach. So bay one driver's side, again, you got that detail painted into the door handle. Another flipper type door because we're underneath a 30-inch slide room. Again, full pass-through bay. So I think we're the only guys in the industry doing full pass-through bays, bay one and bay two. What it does, it gives you the opportunity to put as much cargo in there as you wish, or you can add outdoor kitchen, outdoor bar systems to either of these bays. They go on the existing electric slide tray. Got a telescoping ladder here, your camp chairs built in there. This is the OEM Prevost slide room controller. So the slide rooms are controlled on our intuitive system, but we always want redundant switching. So that's redundant switching for the Prevost slide room if you happen to have anything go wrong with your intuitive control. In here is all of the systems for the Prevost slide room, from the air to the electronic control. And then you'll see here, Featherlite adds their CAN bus control into here. This is basically the inputs and outputs, how we use the Featherlite intuitive control system to also control the Prevost slide rooms. A couple other little items here. You see these are prepped up for the next person who's going to own this coach. This is all of your network drawings on the coach. All the engineering drawings are coming with it for the technicians to have access. Of course, we keep all of this on our server, but it comes with full engineering drawings. These are the technical publications provided by Prevost, and then we've got a small tote with spare belts and things that you might need on the road for the Volvo D13 engine. So all we need to do is add the next owner's personal things and it's ready for the road.
Yes, sir.
Coming up to the front of the coach, you'll see our backlit Featherlite badge. We've got the paint scheme going through the side view camera and front handle. You open this is what we call the driver J-box. So this is primarily Prevost equipment. Behind this cover, you've got all of the Prevost ECUs and circuit breakers, the wiring diagrams here, and then below you'll see systems from Featherlite. Here is the electrical distribution for the radio, the cameras, FM antenna, just basically the things that you have up at the dash for the driver's convenience. You've got a little auxiliary air setup here so you can use to blow off the cockpit, fill up some tires. And then here is the release for the storage behind the front bumper. So I can trigger this, open that front storage area, and you've got a nice useful space here that's actually got our air compressor pallet here. You've got your warning emergency triangles, and then some extra space that a lot of people use for stowing other hoses and whatever other kind of mechanical things they might have. And you've got a gasketed sealed compartment here.
This is a great looking front end here with the new 9660 styling and headlights. And I'm noticing a sensor here. What is this sensor in the windshield?
Yep, so this is part of the Volvo safety suite. So this is related to the adaptive cruise braking and the warning system if you're coming up on slower traffic. If you're not paying attention, it's gonna first give you a warning light, grab your attention. If you don't make any adjustment, it'll actually hit you with an audible warning plus the lights. If you're still distracted, it is going to brake the coach for you on its own. So really a clever collision avoidance system that's been fantastic.
Yeah, I know Volvo's always put safety at their forefront, and a lot of value in all of those little things that Volvo puts in to make safety a priority.
Absolutely.
Now I'm really excited to see the interior of the coach, but you mentioned we could take this for a spin around the block.
Let's do it. It's a beautiful day. I think you're really going to like the way the double slide feels and how the coach performs.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing how a $3.15 million coach goes down the road. So let's take a look at the interior.
Let's do it.
Jimmy, this has a completely different feel than a lot of the other motorhomes we've seen. Very light.
Yes.
What's the story with this coach?
Our designer out of Dallas, we really let her take some artistic license with this one, and she's really cool and does some really interesting stuff. You know, the coach, we call it Palisades. It's basically that mountain California Lake Tahoe feel when you look at the paint on the outside, and then having that really kind of hip feel to the inside. She did some pretty wild stuff in here, but I love it.
Yeah, very hip, very contemporary. And as soon as you pulled in, I saw you driving in, the front captain's chairs just drew my attention in. It's a totally different pattern. And I've talked about the motorhome industry. A lot of times they'll take patterns that we've seen in the automotive industry. And I pay attention to the latest and greatest cars, but I don't think I've ever seen this pattern in any other car. How did you come up with this design?
Well, a lot of this came through our designers, particularly Julie. She does a lot of work in aviation as well, has worked a lot with Gulfstream and other large jet manufacturers. So she's, you know, always got the edge. And that was really driven by her. That pattern, it's kind of a chevron that's got a little bit of a quilt feel to it, and it's just cool.
Yeah, lots of cool little touches. And then, you know, as soon as we walked in here, these ottomans are a little bit different. I think that those could be easily interchanged, but
yeah, of course.
Super cool.
But, you know, it catches your attention without a doubt. And, you know, the really cool looking kind of checkerboard pattern mohair throw pillows. And then I know she uses a lot of high-end fabrics on all of the custom pillows, the upholstery surfaces. She just pulls things together in just an unexpected way.
Absolutely. Just so many little details that I want to go through. But this is a double slide coach.
It is.
Now, how many double slides a year are you building?
Typically only a couple, but interestingly, they've kind of had a resurgence, especially among clients that like to travel. The more time they spend on the road, you know, we've had clients come out of a triple and go back and build a double with us because, you know, we've got pretty good space here in the salon area when it's open, and then when it's closed, it's so usable. It's so easy to pass through the coach and use all the features of the coach while you're on the road. So they're still really have a good following, but we'll mainly do maybe one spec, one custom per year, and then most of the rest of the production is triple and quad now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the double slides personally, you know, very livable when the slide rooms come in, and just, you know, less stuff going on, less buttons you have to press, super easy.
Well, and no slides going out on your patio area.
More room under awnings, easier access to your bays, more flexibility over there for sure.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of the double slide as well. You know, as long as it's done right, it feels spacious when it's open and closed.
Yes, sir, and there's a lot of seating in here. I mean, I could easily see, you know, probably 8 to 10 people having a, you know, cocktail hour, entertaining in here.
Definitely, and when you look at it compared to, you know, typically like our two front slide, you know, triple or quad, you don't usually see the two chairs with the occasional table in that floor plan because you've got a slide, you know, mechanism to deal with just behind the co-pilot seat. So here we can get two chairs, a nice occasional table with work surfaces that pull out, and a really spacious galley. You know, all of this in a double slide.
Yeah, and kind of unexpected materials with the table and the countertop. It's got the waterfall countertop that kind of looks like a concrete. I'm trying to pinpoint, you had to say what style this was. It's very unique, but like modern, contemporary.
It is. I would call it contemporary. You know, it has that almost like a concrete look to it, but a little bit of veining. It's a high-end quartz product from Silestone, and I love what she does with the waterfall end on it.
Yeah, everything just ties together so well. I'm noticing speakers in the ceiling here. What's the AV setup in this coach?
Yep, so we've got a full Sonos system, actually 3 Sonos systems. So the one we're looking at here in the salon area is going to be the large format soundbar, It's got rear surround speakers here that are in ceiling, plus a powered subwoofer. So in the stateroom, you're going to see the sound bar with the subwoofer, and the same outside of the bay, Sonos sound bar and subwoofer. So good sound, whatever room you're in.
3 subwoofers in this coach.
Right.
Nice.
And Sonos will let you play everything linked on one song, so you can make this thing jump.
Hey, if you want to get the attention at the campground, you could throw a party in this coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you mentioned there's a TV that comes out of the ceiling here?
Yep, so you've got a 55-inch HD TV, and it's fully internet connected. Folds down out of the ceiling. This is a really high quality a flip down lift that we source from Great Britain. It's built for the yachting industry over there, so very robust, meant to stand up over pounding waves. And what I love about it is it really swings forward and leaves you a nice clear space to get in and out of the front door of the coach.
Yeah, definitely a lot of open air space here, and you can easily walk in and out of this coach. And man, these chairs, someday I hope to own some sort of a vehicle with this pattern on the chairs there. That's super cool.
Thanks, man. I love that upholstery pattern. I'm glad you like it. And I agree, it's unique. I really haven't seen it in the industry or even automotive.
Usually the motorhome industry follows the automotive industry, but here at Featherlite, you guys are leading the way here.
Well, we got great design and engineering teams, so they're always looking to innovate. It's just a good example of it. Very high quality, very comfortable, and it's all perforated for airflow as well. So super nice for the heating and the cooling on the seats.
Yeah, I know your owners are always pushing you. You've got all kinds of celebrity owners. I'm recognizing celebrity buses just walking around your shop here right now. I'm sure they're holding you to the highest expectations.
Absolutely, but we welcome the challenge. I mean, our customers take the product, they help us take it to the next level. So it's one of those things where they've seen a lot. Most of them have airplanes, boats, everything else, and they typically ask us to bring the best things that they see in other products and try to incorporate it into a Featherlite. So we're happy to do that, and I learn from them every year.
Yes, sir. And you choose to build on the Prevost shell,
yes.
And we're talking about Featherlite over and over again, but what causes you to choose the Prevost platform to build on when there's other motorhome chassis out there?
We've been in the business for a long time. I've converted on other shells, and Prevost has just been an amazing partner. Year in, year out, you see some other bus shell manufacturers enter and exit the business. They just don't maintain that same commitment. Also the commitment to quality. The Prevost product and their support team have been unmatched in our experience. Some of the big features are on the safety side. When you think about this stainless steel safety cage style construction, true monocoque. And these coaches are originally designed to be able to serve as a tour and charter coach, for millions of miles and ensure the safety of up to 53 passengers. So they have to pass things like DOT rollover test, survival test, and things like that. So one of the things that we've always been so impressed by is, when Prevost designs the seated coach bus shells that these are essentially based on, they build in so much safety, and a lot of those attributes come over to the conversion shell. So we are absolutely convinced this is the safest platform in the RV industry. You look at the stainless steel cage construction, all of the Volvo safety systems on board, adaptive cruise braking. It's got the complete safety suite that I just haven't seen any other platform that can match it.
Is there a lot of value in being able to kind of piggyback all of that research and development that Prevost does and other segments of the industry? I definitely can understand that and appreciate that. And I know, Volvo, the parent company of Prevost, is always pushing safety.
Yes.
When I was a little kid, I remember being told that Volvos were the safest cars out there. Volvos and Mercedes-Benz.
That's right.
But what has Volvo done, to evolve safety in the last few years? Have you seen improvements in safety that they're doing?
Yeah, we've seen tremendous improvements in their safety systems, and a lot of it is based on the driver's experience and the ability to avoid the accident, right? So when you see everything in the new cockpit, things like the warning system that if you happen to be looking down or not paying attention, it's giving you visual and then audible warnings, and then it will automatically brake the coach. Like if you are coming up on someone far too quickly and perhaps not paying attention, it begins to warn you, and if you're not making, braking, it will brake the coach automatically for you. I mean, it's amazing. I've experienced it and was quite thankful that it did that. It's a nice safety feature that's in every new Prevost. The other thing is they have the available e-mirrors, and the e-mirrors bring a whole nother level of visibility in adding safety, especially in low light and poor weather conditions. They just solidly outperform standard mirrors when you get in that situation where it's tough to see. It just puts that aside. I mean, you can see just like it's regular conditions outside.
Yeah, we've been hearing over and over from Prevost owners that have switched to the new body style Prevost, just really appreciate the e-mirrors. I think they're here to stay. I don't think the e-mirrors are going anywhere.
No, I don't think so either. And you know, we still have clients that are maybe not ready for them yet. So we don't build every coach with e-mirrors, but we build every coach pre-wired for e-mirrors. So that's one of the options we take from Prevost. Every shell we build is going to be factory ready for e-mirrors. If you elected not to take them as an option, I still want the coach to be ready, because typically you'll ask for them a little bit later, or the next owner of that coach is going to want them.
So if someone down the line does want to add them, that's something you can easily do here at Featherlite?
Yeah, or at Prevost, either one. Prevost Service Center, or we can do it. But with the pre-wire, it's way less intrusive to do the install. You don't have to pull, you know, the dash and everything out to get the e-mirrors on.
And talking about the drivability, do you mind showing us around the cockpit area here?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Is there anything different in the cockpit of a double slide versus a triple or a quad slide?
The cockpit is basically identical. Both are going to feature the large dual screen layout here. You've got 2 different camera systems on board, and you're able to toggle between these. So you can see on my main screen, I've got the multi-view camera. You can drop back out and choose your Sirius XM Bluetooth. It's got Apple CarPlay on it. And if the coach is stationary, you can actually look at an HDMI input, like if you want to see the in-motion HD satellite TV. My secondary monitor, you can basically push down whatever source you want there. I really like to use it for this remote control rear view camera, so I can look around, pan and tilt at the rear of the bus, and single push of the button go down and look at the hitch view. Another push of the button go back to a normal rear view position. So really nice and intuitive setup here. You've got the full suite of all of the Prevost control options on it. As usual, we've optioned this shell with the Allison transmission retarder, so it's like a 7-position transmission retarder. You've got all of the controls on the new Prevost steering wheel. You can flash lights, control the phone. It's got a cruise control here, all the audio controls for the head unit, and then a tremendous amount of information in the Prevost information screen in the center of the new dash. So this is a really impressive amount of information that it gives you. Everything from state of charge on the chassis batteries to the AC pressure, high and low side, what the electric fan systems are doing, what percent they're running for charge air cooler, for radiator, pretty much anything you'd want to see. And the other thing I really love is the tire pressure monitoring system. So an OEM TPMS system that's going to let you look at each wheel, each axle, give you your current pressure, target pressure, and actual temperature readings. So what we had learned from the Michelin engineers is probably the single largest failure of tires, outside of course, a puncture, over temperature because of underinflation. So you really want to keep an eye on the inflation pressures and the temperatures. You can do that real time right here. So it's going to let you know if you're out of spec from target temp, target pressure on any axle. A lot of good information here. Left side, it's got the shade controls, all the lighting controls, 2 sets of shades from us on the coach, a full blackout in the windshield, as well as this nice solar mesh. Lots and lots of electrical power points. There's always been a big demand for adding USB, USB-C, and even 120 volts. So we have all of that included in the dash area. You've got a traditional cigarette lighter style 12-volt outlet. Here I have a marine grade induction charging system for a telephone. Just to my left, I've got USB-C, USB-A, 120 volt, another 120 volt. Behind that, we include 2 more USB-Cs, 2 more USB-As, and in the locking Prevost drawer, I've got 2 more USB-A. So there are plentiful charging ports for whatever devices you bring along. They'll be ready to go as soon as you get off the road and pull in. The coach has got the new Prevost Dash Air system. It's basically a dual system for driver and passenger area. Controls are just here to my right-hand side. And it's got our kind of hallmark adoption of the AMG Mercedes aluminum turbine vents. So again, just, you know, it's that ball bearing detent, tactile feel, and high efficiency flow that come from these vents. We think it's a nice step up from the OEM Prevost vents that the shell comes with. And then you'll see a really handsome finish on the dash. You could do a carbon fiber style or any number of wood grains, whatever really that you want to try to match up with the theme you're going for, or what the interior of the coach looks like. So well-rounded setup. I think I mentioned the seat is full air ride, has air and heat, as well as massage system. Super comfortable. I mean, I know that I can pull seven plus hours without leaving the seat on the coach, because I normally can do the drive from the factory here to Mountain Falls in Lake Toxaway, North Carolina, without making a stop. Very comfortable. One of the other things from a safety and performance standpoint that I really like on the new Prevost bus shell is the lighting package. We specify with all LED clearance and docking lights, but the headlight package on the coach is phenomenal. With high intensity LED lighting, have amazing reach without blinding oncoming traffic. The new headlight system from Prevost is outstanding in its performance. They are high intensity LED lights, just really a game changer. You know, lighting up the road. I'm big about that as a night driver. I've always found the European cars seem to have the best headlights, and we finally have a motorhome that's on par with the best European cars.
And then over here on the passenger side, I'm seeing this, split camera. So we have the lights out right now, but we can see that the blue light's kind of glowing. I think that's a famous. I think there's a famous Prevost and Stacker trailer. I appreciate you ripping off the plastic for us. This is right out of the wrapper.
She is fresh. You get the first look at it. But that's exactly what you're seeing is from the co-pilot seat here, you can select multiple camera views. Just have a lot of control from here. So if the driver is needing help getting a look at something, I can click through all of the cameras. I can jump over, actually make inputs on the nav system from here so the driver doesn't have to do it. You can jump over and hit your source. Switch from nav to the HD cam to like left cam, right cam, and then jump over to an auxiliary input or even the HDMI if you want to watch the HD in motion satellite television, all done right here at the co-pilot. Co-pilot also has the full intuitive control, so control everything in the cockpit. Or page through, look at anything from tank levels to doing your slide outs, turning on the hydronic heating, basically anything in the coach you can run from this touch panel. These are all your thermostats, bay heaters, floor heat, everything in the coach you can operate from right here.
These panels are so easy to use, and you've got these all over the coach where you can just scroll through the different menus. It's very easy to find the different controls. How long has Featherlite been using this technology?
So this intuitive control package, we finished the engineering on this in 2019, and we've continued to make advancements to the system. The user interface has been really, really well received. It looks similar from coach to coach, but the systems that they're actually driving this have gone to a full solid state switching and circuit control system. So just getting better and better, and we put it on every new Featherlite.
I can imagine your Featherlite owners appreciate the ease of use, and I've got to compliment the craftsman here, the housing just for these two panels, the way it looks like it was built in to be part of the coach is very well done.
Thanks. Yeah, we've tried everything from the arms and everything else, but really just having it integrated into the B-post has been the most popular.
And even that, the dash behind you there, you've got another one of those panels in front of the dash.
That's right, at the entryway.
Yeah, and lots of cool indirect lighting down there, and then more of those AMG vents that look like they were built in to be a part of the coach. Really sleek look there.
Yeah, thank you. So we put the intuitive control panels basically everywhere throughout the coach, inside and out. And really, you can control every aspect of the coach from here. So if you open the entertainment bay, there's one of these control panels. So you can do all your exterior lighting, put the slide outs if you wish, whatever you want to do. It's got that kind of capability. The other thing that's really nice is how solid these systems are. There's no wireless on these control panels. These are all fully wired on a CAN bus system through the coach, so they are super reliable. There are safety features built in, an example being the 55-inch flip-down TV, so it's not going to let you, or child or whatever, just flip the TVs down without checking to make sure you're clear.
Yeah, you have to agree that there's
Yep.
nothing in the way.
Confirm that
Yep.
everything's clear and go ahead. Same thing on the televator in the stateroom. You don't want to have beverages or something on it and launch that thing.
Understandable. I'm sure there's a lot of different scenarios when people want to just press all kinds of different buttons, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you've thought through a lot of that.
Well, and yeah, we try to make it where it's not intrusive. That's a pet peeve of mine is I think the litigious nature of our society drives a lot of nonsense warnings and extra steps. I really try not to have any of those on unless it is really a meaningful safety step.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, and I'm sure it's a very complex machine, so there's a lot of safety stuff that has to be put in place for the end user.
Yeah, for sure. So if you're going to control, slide outs remotely or television, things like that, you have to be very thoughtful about that.
Yes, sir. Now, does the front turn into sleeping at all?
It does. So this sofa is set up with a full pull-out, so queen size pull-out.
Yeah.
You can take an option for a jackknife sleeper here if that's preferable.
Yeah, and these recliners are so impressive. I think it's similar to the recliner we saw in the triple slide.
That's right.
That had a single recliner with more of a workstation kind of
that's right.
setup.
Yeah, these are the stressless, the Scandinavian recliners, super comfortable. These are crowd favorites. They're actually really easy to move around, to recline. Great spot to be able to watch a game, or if you want to do a little bit of work, we've set this up like a little mini workstation. So you've got pull-out workspace here, and down below, you've got a plug-in for a laptop, 120 volt, HDMI that will cast up to the 55-inch flip-down TV, and you've got a hardwired internet connection here. So you can really use this as a little bit of a mobile office, which is great for tax purposes as well.
Yes, sir. Very versatile. And I see another one of those touch panels. They are all over. Wherever you're sitting, you can control the whole coach.
So these are our baseline touch panel that you're going to find each location through the coach. Some of the information that's on each one, it's going to be different based on the location. So each one has the capability to control anything, but your home screen is going to be preset for the lighting and shades that are where that panel sits. So this panel is assigned chair area. It actually gives you exterior temp, time of day.
Yeah, extremely user-friendly. And I've got to compliment this wall over here. I like what you did with the wood grain coming up the wall.
Thanks.
Kind of has that California ski mountain feel to it. And
Yeah.
does this pull out on this side as well? So you can
Yeah.
actually have kind of two people.
Yeah.
Or even like for a card game, this would be like a perfect setup to sit back and have a card game comfortably. A little,
Agreed. Yeah. It's pretty fun setup. So they spent a lot of time working on this occasional table to make it multifunctional, and you can actually do different types of drawers. We have a drawer that has a top surface that will slide open and closed inside. So a lot of things you can do with this space to make the most out of it.
Yeah, really impressive. And again, soft close drawers. And I love that you've got the Featherlite badge stamped in every drawer in the coach?
Basically every drawer we order with our logo laser etched in the side.
Yeah, nice little touch where that dovetail construction takes it over the top, and this has got a concrete color.
Yeah.
It blends with this wood.
She just comes up with some amazing combinations, and it's so funny because often, we got really experienced craftsmen, and they start saying, well, wait a minute, how is this going to go with that? And then it always comes together in the end.
Yeah, really unlike anything I've ever seen, but the more time we spend in this coach, it's just very comfortable, very modern, contemporary. I feel like I'm hanging out with the California cool kids in
There
here.
you go,
So,
man.
yes, sir.
That's what we're going for.
Now, in the double slide, right now, this table is a little more extended out, but it looks like there's a system here for this to...
Yeah, it's got a heavy-duty high-low system, so you can actually lower this table down. It can go in and out. You can lower it down to be like a coffee table or a card table to hang out when you're entertaining. Raise it back up when you're having a meal. And the same thing, this bench slides in and out to give you more space when you're going down the road. So you can go in, out, up, down with this.
I could set up shop and take a nap there if I really needed to. Is that supposed to be set up for sleeping? Or?
Not really. I mean, if you want to catch a nap, but I like to use it as a place to kick back. If somebody's on the sofa, the chairs are occupied, this is a great place to be able to kick back, have my laptop or my iPad here.
Yeah, really cool configuration here. And I really like that you also have that countertop space that kind of flows into that area where you might have a coffee maker.
Yes.
And you even have some floor space right there, which is a great transition area.
Yeah, this is really useful space here. We call this the Galley Annex. It's got 120 volt power here. We can also bring water here if you want to have a plumbed in coffee maker. A lot of storage. You know, you've got lighted storage with adjustable shelves there. You've got pantry type, pull out pantry type storage here that's nice and deep. And even underneath the upholstered seating surfaces here, there are drawers with a lot of storage here. So 3 drawers like this that are quite deep.
And then outlets everywhere, USB-A, USB-C. I'm just curious, I've never seen these. What are these for?
These are some little blocking pieces for the sleeper sofa, I think. If you want to make it higher or lower, you can add blocking pieces for it.
Nice. Again, you know, more storage
Lots of
overhead
storage
as well.
above. I mean, we put a big premium on storage. So upper storage here, and again, it's got the integrated switching where the catch that keeps the door closed also has built-in switching, turns the lights off inside the cabinet. And then as we come back down the hall, you know, we've got more and more pantry space in the coach. So storage throughout, quite deep.
You can hear that quality when you're opening and closing those drawers. And then coming into the galley, what's going on here in the galley?
So the galley is actually quite large. It's larger in this double slide than it's typically going to be in a triple or a quad, because again, we are sitting on the main coach floor instead of being put into a slide room. So you have a lot of linear space in this galley. Big drawer sets here. You've got a 2-burner convection cooktop. You've got a microwave convection oven, and then lots and lots of drawer storage. And it's really deep and set up for cutlery, spices. They put a lot of accessories in all of these drawers to make them easier to use. So this has got a full peg bottom in it, so you can set the pegs to put flatware in there or plates, cups, bowls. You've got a nice big silverware drawer here that also slides forward so that your larger utensils, cooking utensils, can go underneath. So they just did a lot of clever things here. Nice dividers in this drawer. You've got your dishwasher drawer. You've got a really large sink with sprayer, really interesting sink fixture again. And then here you've got a slide out trash can. You've got sink covers that stow beneath and storage underneath. So a lot of space here, and all of these drawers automatically lock when you take the park brake off. So you can see here I can control the locks just here. So that locks and that unlocks so you can get in them going down the road. But when you take the park brake off to leave, automatically locks, so nothing's flying open when you're going down the road.
And how long has Featherlite had that technology where the cabinet doors all automatically lock when you take the parking brake off?
Gosh, you know, we've been doing it for 10 plus years now. I mean, really, it came from our yachting guys. A lot of our key craftsmen came out of the yacht building business, and this was a system that originally came from New Zealand. They were using on yachts to try to keep drawers from flying open when you're underway. One of the things we really like about it is it allows us to use these soft close drawers, you know, that close themselves, where in most other applications there's a secondary latch, so it self-closes, then it stops, and you got to push it close and latch it. So we don't have to do any of that. It gives that real feel of a high-end home, and then locks itself when you head down the road.
Yeah, a real clean experience for the end user.
That's the idea.
Yeah, and I really like this backsplash here. It's a little aggressive. I've never seen anything like it, but it just really ties everything together really well.
It's pretty cool. It kind of has that goldish, rosish tone, and actually picks up some of this metal tone in the fixtures. She's done some pretty cool stuff here. So it's got that little rose hue that I think you'll see repeated in some of the mosaic tile that she's done in the bathrooms.
Yeah, real cool. I can see that Palisades kind of inspiration.
Yes.
And you know, even you mentioned the sink here. What a cool sink that has that slight curve up. I mean, unlike anything I've ever seen, but
isn't that interesting?
Very cool faucet there.
Yeah.
It looks like the refrigerator looks like it's, you know, piece of the bulkhead wall there. Built into the coach. What else is going on back here?
So full panel front, double French door refrigerator. So we do basically a built-in installation here, and it lets us use the same hardware sets that are used on all the high-end cabinetry. So everything is matched up, and you know, ton of refrigerator space here. It's refrigerator over freezer with ice maker. Proven setup that we've used in many, many coaches. Customers love it. Just aft of the refrigerator, you've got a big pantry space here. So once again, you've got these really large pull-out drawers with the Featherlite logo. It's got the dovetail construction and the soft close. So really tall one in the bottom here for bigger, heavier things, and then various sizes. And we can adjust these to however the customer wants to space them, but that's based on your typical set of groceries.
And extremely bright lights in there as well. You're definitely going to be able to see your groceries without a problem.
That's right.
Now let's get bath and a half coach. How many Featherlites are bath and a half? Are you building single bath Featherlites? Or?
We'll do single bath. Typically it's center single bath, and sometimes if you want to do bunks in the center as well. But still, our most popular floor plan is going to be bath and a half, and that's what this has. So just aft of this Galley annex is the half bath, and it's really quite large. So plenty of room in here. You've got nice wall covering. Actually, you'll see this repeated on the entry door panel. You've got that mosaic tile in the backsplash, a beautifully curved vanity here with lots of space underneath. It's got a little hidden spot here for your toilet brush.
Oh, nice.
Pretty convenient.
We all need one of those?
Yeah, that's right. And real glass mirrors, nice medicine cabinet with adjustable glass shelves inside. Has its own high capacity vent fan, and then you've got an intuitive control panel right here. So easily access, turning the water pump on, off, look at your tank levels, dump the tanks, autofill. Anything you need to do from the coach, you can do it from right here on this intuitive coach panel.
Or if you just step right outside the half bathroom, another intuitive coach panel right here.
There it is.
And I've got a compliment. You would never know that there's a vent with the fan, the way the ceiling treatment is there, just very refined. I had to hit the button for the pocket door there. We closed off the rear bedroom, but we'll press one button. It's an electric pocket door, and
come on in.
Nice rear suite back here. What's going on back here, Jimmy?
Thanks. So we've got a super slide back here, a true king bed. It's also split adjustable, so you can raise the head, raise the foot independently on each side. It's got nice storage underneath. And then this wide super slide, it gives us room to put a really large hanging locker over drawers back here. So here you see a cedar line hanging locker with a lighted hanging rod, and then a built-in wall safe that's actually built in with proper studs in behind it.
Yeah, and being a double slide coach with that super slide, it's incredible how massive this rear bedroom is. And we have the bed flat right now where it would actually gain some more floor space if we tilted it up.
Yep, if you go ahead and tilt it up, you gain more floor space. You hardly need it though. There's good walk space here. And again, what I love back here is the massive windows in the stateroom. Awesome views back here. It's got a really high quality shade package also that's full blackout. And then you've got a nice televator down at the foot of the bed that goes extra height with a 47-inch flat screen on it.
Yeah, very cool. And again, no cabinets over the bed getting in the way of the view of the windows. And then, same thing here. I really like having that televator. I see a lot of motorhomes blocking the window with a TV, but you're still utilizing that huge Prevost window for the beautiful views of all the cool places you guys go to hang out.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that it's an opening window. So we specify with an opening awning type window on each side. So even when you've got the bedroom closed off, you can have a nice cross breeze, especially if you're in like the California mountains or somewhere cool like that. It's really a nice feeling to be able to do that, not have the window blocked off.
Yeah, summer in Lake Tahoe, California, I would definitely want to have the fresh air coming in. So.
Absolutely.
And then when we close that door off, you've got a full-length mirror here. I know a lot of good-looking Featherlite owners out there that are in front of the cameras a lot, so they got to stay looking good.
Yeah, so it's just a nice convenience to have. You're getting ready in the bedroom, get ready to leave. You've got a full-length mirror you can use here. You also have a full-length mirror inside the main bath. So you're not at a loss for a mirror. That used to be a constant ask is, hey, really, can you get a mirror here or there? Sometimes people are putting them inside closet doors, but I really like that to just close the bedroom door and you've got a full-length mirror right there.
Yeah, really nice. And that's an electric door. We've talked about that in previous videos.
Yep.
Can you show everyone real quick, just when you close the door on your hand, how it kind of automatically stops? Or?
Sure. So this is a programmable electric pocket door. Basically, it's going to have a built-in safety. So if my hand is here, it's not going to crush my hand. It's automatically going to sense it and reverse itself. Now, I've left it in the position to tell it to close. So it's going to see, is it clear? Yes, can I go ahead and close? And it'll do so. You'll notice it starts slowly, accelerates, and then it slows back down before it reaches the closed position. So the idea is just have it very seamless operation, much smoother than the pneumatic doors, which really don't have the control built in, and they have a tendency to slam and are lacking the safety features.
So if for some reason the electrical system isn't functioning, can you manually open that, or do you need to find a safety release like we do with the pneumatic doors?
No, luckily, unlike a pneumatic, we do not need an emergency release switch. So if we have an electrical failure or something goes wrong, this will actually default to a basically freewheel. It acts just like a standard pocket door in a residential application.
So you just move it with your hands.
That's
easily.
right. Yep.
Very cool. Now we've got a lot of cabinet space going on up here. I'm curious, what all is hidden behind these doors up here?
This is all of the closet space and accessories and appliances that our clients ask for. So you've got a full stack washer dryer here. It's got the high power dryer system on it that does a great job. You've got more closet space here. So here we're hanging cedar line, lighted rod, over drawers. So these are drawers you can put folded clothes in, 3 large, really deep drawers here. Again, it's been a really common request from the clients is to add drawers instead of shelves in a deep closet like this.
Well, it's super clean. I have to compliment your team at just how flush everything lines up. Like those look like they were built to be a part of this closet.
Oh, they were.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then we've got a corner closet here. This is going to have some adjustable shelf space here. You can option this to add hanging above shelves if you like. We went ahead and set this one up with multiple adjustable shelves for more folded clothes.
And it's all lined with a carpet material as well.
That's right. That has been almost like a mohair consistency. It's a lot nicer and softer than what we were accustomed to seeing with, like, I think trunk liner you see in some other RVs. Just never did meet our quality standards. So this is a special material that we order, but it's very resistant to any kind of stains. It really holds up well. And then we build in these aluminum fiddles on each shelf to keep the shelf contents there.
Nice.
Thanks.
And there's so many details, you know, as we're standing in this coach that, you know, it's so much to take in all at once, but like this indirect lighting above your cabinet right here. Again, indirect lighting on the valances, more indirect lighting above the valance, above the soundbar, almost gives that valance like a floating look.
Yep.
A lot of great lighting in this coach.
Thank you. The customers love it. I mean, they really insisted we even add it around the windows. It's all individually where you can switch it off if you don't like it. So you can really kind of set the mood just really based on preference.
It's even got the underglow lighting below the coach if you want to really light up the campground at night as well.
Yeah, and that underglow lighting outside, you know, inside we really use the kind of classier warm white throughout. I really spent a lot of time trying to make the accent lighting and the high intensity LEDs color match up. Outside you can throw a little color at it. So the beautiful blue paint on this, there's a nice blue hue. If you want to do red or other colors, you've got those options on the underglow lighting.
Yeah, lots of lighting here in this Featherlite.
Yeah, thanks. A couple of other features you'll see back here. We've got our built-in hamper here, and then on the other side, another built-in hamper. So a bit of a his and hers hamper setup. And then just after that, Andrew, you've got another closet that's cedar lined hanging over shelves. So a lot of different options for clothes and storage. And then one more being the big pull-out drawer that's underneath the bed. So good for bedding, quilts, you know, whatever things you might want to put in a larger drawer like that.
No shortage of outlets here, bedside as well, and then countertop space and drawer space on both sides of the bed.
That's right. And you know, sometimes I've seen it where, you know, to get a king bed, a converter will lose all of the bedside table space, and that is just hard to live with for me. I've got to have a little space for my personal stuff, my phone, my water, and everything else.
Yeah, keys, wallet, all that good stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm the same way. Now this is still a full king size bed though.
Yep, a full size king bed, split adjustable, so the foot and the head will go up and down, individual of each other. You do have intuitive control panels forward and aft, and that's one of the things that gives you the flexibility. I mean, I remember all the debates we had in the past when you were stuck with hard buttons. As an example, okay, which side of the bed? We need one button at least to put the hydronic heat on. Whose side of the bed gets it? And then which side gets an exterior light and which side gets a generator start, because you were limited to say 9 buttons on each. So now each panel can do anything.
Yeah, if you want to stay up late and maybe watch TV and your partner wants to fold down flat, that's possible?
Yep, oh, absolutely. That's easy to do. Each person has a remote control to control their side of the bed. And then if you want to stay up and watch TV, we've got a 47-inch TV on a lift, Andrew, that I think actually would suit you pretty well.
Is it on the televator?
Yeah,
well, I guess can I use this button
sure,
right here?
Yeah, one of them. So hit the movie, then hit stateroom open. It's going to say
confirm,
okay,
make sure we don't have anything on top of it.
Confirm that, open it up.
Boom, easy peasy.
Yeah, nice and quiet, super thin screen.
Yeah, that's like takes flat screen to a whole different level. That's one of the thinnest TVs I've ever seen. What type of TV is that?
These are the LG OLED, the blackest blacks, highest performance. I think really only LG, and I think they licensed Sony with this technology, but those have been typically rated the best picture quality, so that's what we're running. But you see how it didn't just stop at the countertop level, it raised up another 10 inches or so that when you're laying in the bed, you don't block the television view.
That makes sense. Lots of little stuff. I'm sure there was a customer somewhere that drove you to push the televator to the next level there.
Exactly. So just years of experience learning from our customers, and then trying to bring innovation that's going to please them and meet their needs.
Yes, sir. So there's a pocket door that goes into the bathroom as well. So if we want to section off the bathroom, we've got privacy back there, but this is a little kind of wild California ski cabin kind of vibe back here. How would you describe this?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's probably more chalet than cabin. It's kind of got a European feel as well, and it is really cool what she's done back here. So now we see a repeat of this rose-colored, almost reflective tile that we saw in the Galley. You've got the gold tone fixtures, and then you have some mosaic that has some of the deep blue and gray from the outside of the coach, the white accents.
Yeah, really cool design, and I'm impressed with the size of the shower. So I'm 6'2", I'm standing up, still have several inches of headroom, several inches of headroom below the second shower head as well. And I love the way that you built this, where the shower head looks like it was built into the ceiling. I haven't seen anybody else do this in the motorhome industry.
Well, thanks. I just noticed one thing. They didn't pull the peel coat on that guy.
Oh yeah.
Let's grab that real quick.
That's all right. We're getting the plastic off of it.
Yeah, this baby is so new. It's not even. All right, you want to do the honors?
Still in the wrapper. I mean, I'm.
Here we go. Let's
I'm
pull the
honored
wrapper.
to witness it. Yeah.
So you got a beautiful polished stainless steel marine rain shower head there. So that's another piece that we end up sourcing from Europe, because you can't find a U.S. plumbing manufacturer that makes the really low profile. But that is marine grade stainless steel. It's got the built-in lighting. It's a really cool piece, and it'll run at the same time as the wand. It's got the big Headhunter high flow water pump on it, so it'll push both of those shower units simultaneously.
Yeah, really cool and huge, very large shower. And yeah, if you wanted to shave and use that as a mirror, brush your teeth, you're all dialed in up there.
Good point, very good point.
Yes, sir. But again, just an over-the-top, impressive design that your designer did on this.
Thanks, Andrew. And lots of little touches through here. So instead of just putting the handle, we actually have a long handle that's used as a towel hanger on the inside and out, integrated rope hook here. Just everywhere we can add, a detail that brings value, we try to do that.
And a large vanity along the back of the coach. This is a really large bathroom too. We're two big guys standing here in the rear, but really a lot of countertop space. Looks like some deep medicine cabinet. What else is going on here?
Yeah, big counter, very deep. You've got deep medicine cabinet space here. You've got the trademark two mirror doors that will come so you can get a whole look. You've got your floor heat controller here for all your tile floor, glass adjustable shelves, just lots of space here for storage, easily configurable, and then drawer storage built in also. That's locking drawers, a lot of storage underneath.
Did I just see a remote for the toilet?
Yeah, that's for the Toto bidet system.
Now it looks like it can be mounted. Do you plan on mounting this on the wall at some point?
Typically what we'll do is ask the client, hey, do you prefer to have it mounted? And then you call the spot and we go ahead and mount it. But yeah, this thing, it does all kinds of things. You have so many options on here, but again, I think since pandemic, that has been the hot ticket for everybody, is to have the bidet built in.
Are you building most of your coaches with the bidet in it?
We are now, yeah. Typically in the main bath, we're including the bidet.
I haven't experienced it yet, but I keep hearing over and over that once you go to the bidet, you don't go back.
There you go, yes, man. Sir. I think you're going to love it. You got to try it one of these days.
Maybe I'll be able to buy a Featherlite someday. I got to keep saving my pennies. So.
We got you covered when you're ready.
Yes, sir. Well, and another intuitive, even if you need to adjust something while you're on the head, you've got that intuitive control in your bathroom.
That's right.
Yeah, if you're driving down the road and you maybe stop and come back here to take a shower and your water pump isn't on, fire up the generator, fire up that hydronic heating, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely.
So anything special we need to know about driving a brand new Prevost?
Well, I think you're going to really like how quiet this coach is, how smooth it drives. All of the new front end geometry from Prevost is really designed to make it quiet and also make it fuel efficient. So this coach, it's not outfitted with the e-mirrors, it's pre-wired for it. So we're going to be running the traditional mirrors, which make a little bit of noise, but I think you're going to be amazed at how solid this coach feels, how quiet it is on the road.
And looking forward to it, and in a moment we're going to walk to the back of the coach to show everyone what it's like while it's in travel.
Okay, well, let's give it a whirl. Can't wait to take you out and see what you think.
Yes, sir. And we do have the step cover down over here below my feet, so it's nice to know that I can just stand up if I needed to walk to the back of the coach for some reason. But get my seatbelt on here.
So you heard the automatic locking on the entry door, so it pins itself closed with a pneumatic lock when you take the park brake off, which is kind of a nice safety feature as well from Prevost. And this loop that we typically run, we're going to run the gamut. City streets, across big railroad crossing, which is meant to jar things loose, and then out onto the highway and get some highway speed running, over 60 miles an hour.
And I noticed when you turned your right turn signal on, the camera immediately it was showing behind us, went to showing the right side of the coach.
Yep, exactly. So automatic switching on that. And then, the upper screen, at the moment, I've got it on the nav. A lot of times I like to run it on Apple CarPlay, but also I can put the HD camera here so I can, look at any other specific camera, if I even want to do a front view, aft view, right side view, keep it on like a right and left full time while I've got remote control rear view there is a pretty popular way to set it.
And is there a speed limiter on the front view camera?
No, it'll run the front view camera whatever speed you need. So it'd be unusual to run it at high speed, but if I'm in a place with low trees or something like that, trying to creep through to get back into a neighborhood or something, quite often I'll have that toggled up to a front view camera so I can see better above. So, okay, we're up 45 miles an hour on B Road here, and we will make another exit onto a highway. I felt it was pretty darn smooth over the railroad crossing. Did you even notice it?
Yeah, I did, and I've got Suffolk, Virginia is a beautiful town, but your roads here, I think, could not the smoothest roads in the country. I don't know if the camera's picking up all of the potholes that have been filled and all of the cracks here in the road. A lot of industrial stuff in this area.
A lot of trucking traffic because we are right at the Port of Virginia, which is a major East Coast port. So we deal with a lot of heavy truck traffic coming through here, and it is hard on the roads. All right, so I'm actually going to use my transmission retarder here. You can feel it slowing down. I'm not even using the brake. Whoops, I'm going to put on full transmission retarder here. Just add a little smidge of brake and we can pull this corner no problem.
So jumping on the highway now, we're 55 miles an hour.
Yep. Coming up to 60, we'll run about 60, 65 miles an hour here. And from where I'm sitting, it just feels super smooth. The road's a little bit better here. And really the only wind noise I pick up is off of the mirrors. So when we convert this over to an e-mirror coach, it's amazingly quiet.
Well, in that air ride seat, it's incredible. You're bouncing around a little bit there, but just keeping super smooth, and it's amazing to think that we're inside of a motorhome right now. Comparing this to other motorhomes out there, it's not even in the same league.
Yeah, the Prevost, the driving experience is fantastic. I feel like I could set, just record time in seat compared to what I'm used to doing in the car. I know the last time I went to Mountain Falls up in Lake Toxway, that's a 7.5 hour drive from here. No problem. I did it in one stint.
Nice.
Which I wouldn't do that in a car. This is just, for me, a lot more comfortable. driving. It's just so solid, so steady.
Yes, sir. And what's the weight of this coach?
So a double slide is going to be about 52,000 pounds.
Okay.
So plenty of cargo capacity left there. Got a decent amount of, as you saw, stone countertops in here, tile backsplashes, heated tile floors in the bath, but still we're 55.5 on the GBWR, and we're going to be down in that 51.5, 52 range on this coach as built. So every coach we do full certified scale ticket on for the new owner and for our engineering purposes. So we'll have all the individual axle weights. And when we started building 9660, one of the things we did was take a racing style individual wheel weight and looked at how engineering had the underbays laid out, the position of the batteries, where we put the aqua hot, the tanks and everything else to optimize the weight balance on the coach. So it makes a difference how you set the coach up as far as where the components are and what it does for your weight balance.
And if it's okay with you, do you mind if I walk to the back of the coach just to show everyone what it's like while we're going down the road?
Please do. Really, it's a really usable space in the coach with a double slide.
Yeah, we're at 60 miles an hour right now and going down the highway, but this is, part of traveling in a bus. We want to, make sure there's no sudden stops. I'm sure Jimmy will yell at us if he has to stop, but, even 60 miles an hour, ladies and gentlemen, can easily get through the coach. Being a double slide, it's very livable as well. Now, we would have to climb over the rear bed to get to the rear bathroom, but we can still get to our half bathroom, no problem, and the refrigerator, no problem, all of that good stuff. I mean, if you want to sit down here and, maybe get some work done while you're going down the road, I think that could be very easily done at this table set up. And I think we're coming up to a stop up here. It looks like we're getting off the exit right now. But,
So getting off the exit, I'm just using the transmission retarder again instead of using brakes right now. It's really smooth, easy to use.
I'm gonna sneak in here. Yeah, super smooth in the back of the coach while we're going down the road. So do you primarily rely on the trans retarder or the foot brake, or what's your theory on braking?
So my go-to is I really use the transmission retarder a lot, especially at highway speed. If I don't want to have to use the air brakes, it's just so much smoother. And then, I'll use it to drag the coach down from speed as I'm coming off an off ramp, then just use the brakes as I approach the stop. Pretty amazing. Coming off of the mountain up at Lake Toxaway, it's pretty significant, steep, high grade, curvy roads. I came off of the mountain with a stacker trailer behind the coach and was pretty much able to make it down the hill with only touching the brakes just a very few times. You can put the transmission, do the mode selector so that basically lets the shift point go higher in the RPM and then manually select your gear. So I'm using engine braking with a combination of transmission retarder. Even with the big stacker trailer behind me, I barely had to use the brakes. So it just gives you that extra comfort level that you're not overheating your brakes. I can see what my transmission temperature is doing right here in the Prevost Information Center. It's easy on the coach, and it's like I got a whole backup system. I'm not even using the brakes. So it's just a comforting feeling. Kind of a fun challenge to get off the mountain without touching the brakes.
Yes, sir, I can imagine. And how heavy is your stacker trailer?
It's about 18,000, but the coach handles it. You barely know it's back there. It's just a commercial grade vehicle that, it takes it in stride, no problem.
Sir.
All right, back up to 60. We're gonna head back kind of the reverse direction back to the plant. We'll do the railroad crossing again and get on some of that bad road surface to see how it performs.
Now, do you test drive every coach, or what's your test drive? How many miles do you put on a coach before the original owner takes delivery typically?
So we'll usually do multiple loops on the test drive. Actually, let me take a look and see where we are on on mileage on this coach right now.
This is a brand new coach.
Yeah.
We're the first ones to be able to photograph this.
That's right. So
3,000.
3,000.
Okay.
3,000.
Now, how many miles do the coaches typically have when you receive them from Prevost before you convert the shell?
So we're usually seeing about like 2,500 miles to 3,500 miles, depending on how many miles Prevost does in their shakedown, and then it drives from Quebec, Canada to us in Virginia. So you have those miles, and then we're going to run multiple test loops on the coach. So we've put over 500 miles on this coach right now with our testing. So we're at 3,019 miles currently on the clock, and it's just off the production line. So it gets some significant test miles, but I think in the long run, it's better for the owner to have that level of shakedown done on the coach before they take delivery.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And these are, known to be million-mile coaches. Do you know what the highest mile Prevost you've ever seen in your service shop, or in your years
Sure.
in the Prevost industry?
So just earlier this year, we had one of our Texas customers send a coach up for some interior refresh. It had, I believe, 1.3 million miles on it.
And they were still spending money on a remodel?
Right, they were just redoing upholstery. The cabinets, the rest of the casework inside was in fantastic shape. We did some hinge and drawer slide adjustment just to make sure everything was aligned properly, updated some upholstery, and it's back out on the road.
Oh, that's awesome. A lot of million-plus mile Prevosts running around. And when was the first time you rid in a Prevost?
The first time I drove a Prevost?
Yeah.
Golly, that must have been in the late 90s, Andrew.
So it couldn't have been much after you got your driver's license, because you're pretty young still. So
I think I'm older than I look, but it was late 90s, and then I've really been in the business full time since 2001.
Wow.
And our headquarters and factory here we moved into in 2004. So we've got some miles under our belt.
That's so you've been in the Prevost industry for 25 years.
Yeah.
That dates you a little bit. I thought you were a little bit younger than that, but
try to stay as young as I can. That's what I use the race cars for. Adrenaline helps keep me young.
Well, a lot to be said about having decades and decades in the industry. And we talked about it a little bit before, but your family was involved with a Modest coach.
Yep.
Before you got involved with Featherlite. And when did that acquisition take place, roughly?
Yeah, so a Modest coach, really we founded in 2001. We moved from our location out near Roanoke, Virginia to Suffolk, to the headquarters we're in now, 2004. We had known the Featherlite people for a number of years and actually had done some work for them, some private label work, and we acquired Featherlite, the brand's intellectual property, so forth, in the first of 2009. So, after the kind of subprime loan collapse took down the U.S. economy just about.
Yes, sir.
When things got really tough, that was an opportunity for us to step in and really shepherd the continuation of the Featherlite brand, adopt that significant customer group out there, continue to service the coaches, continue the development, R&D, and introduction of new product, but being built here at our headquarters in Virginia rather than in the old leased facility in Florida. So we do still maintain a sales and service location in Sanford, Florida, but we moved production from that leased facility in the Port of Sanford to the facility we own here in Suffolk.
Yeah, very cool, and it's been awesome to see, what you've done to really push Featherlite to the next level over the last 15 or 16 years. Your designs are just top notch, and Featherlite has always been a very well-respected brand in the Prevost industry.
Featherlite was really prolific. They were building a huge number of coaches. I think at their height, Featherlite in Florida was turning out about 1 coach per week,
Wow.
which is mind-boggling. To see what it took to build at that level, where right now we're really focused. We won't exceed 1 coach per month. It's pretty much our max limit on production as we're currently structured, and that depends on the product mix. So we're not doing the volumes they were, but I really feel like our team has taken the product to the next level, and we really like to have the personal relationship with every one of our clients.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about, quality over quantity. And they were still, those old Featherlites are still great buses.
Yeah.
Now, do you still service some of those older Featherlites at your facility here and your facility in Florida?
Yeah, we absolutely do. And the crew, we've got an amazing crew down in Florida. Michael Bolf runs our Florida location. He's got some really experienced folks down there, and a lot of the legacy supply chain is still down there. So they are very well equipped to handle service on the Florida-built Featherlites, and we actually offer a lot of upgrades for those coaches. So we'll have some news coming that we'll share with you when it's ready, but we're working on a full control system update that's going to be available for those coaches. It's going to bring a lot of the features of the current Featherlite control system to the older coaches.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. That's something you guys are going to want to subscribe to make sure you hear that news when it gets dropped.
Stay tuned. Well, you'll be one of the first ones to know, Andrew.
And real quick, as we're pulling back to your facility here, this X3 with that American flag paint job in black and blue has just really caught my attention as soon as we got to your facility. What's the story on that X3?
Isn't that cool? So that's a new paint scheme that we did for the next Epic coach. There's 3 more Epic coaches in our work in process with our partner in Atlanta right now. This coach will go in a few weeks. You'll see it early in calendar year 26, but it's going to be a head turner. By the time we get all of our polished stainless trim and accents, wheel covers, awnings, fairings on that coach, it is going to be a knockout.
Yeah, I've loved the interiors that Epic's building, and if someone wants to snap up that coach and kind of customize that interior, is that possible?
Yeah, there's still time to do it. We basically have a color palette you can choose from, a couple of different floor plan options to choose from. So all of those options are available. The coach will go into production in the next few weeks. So I would expect, if we have somebody that wants to make, full personalization, we would need to know by November, and you can make it yours.
Okay, and there's an editing process, so by the time this video goes live, someone's going to need to make that decision pretty quickly if they want to have a say in the colors on that. But What a great opportunity with a really cool, different paint job than we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a head turner.
Jimmy, I appreciate you showing us around this 2026 double slide Featherlite. Now, what's the story of this coach? Is it available? Is it going to be at shows, or how is it going to be used?
It is available. It is hot off the production line. Andrew, you are filming it for the first time, even outside of us. We don't even have pro photos of this coach yet. So you will essentially be doing the reveal on this, and then it is going to be headed to the first shows are probably going to be late in October in the mountains of North Carolina. I think we'll do the Mountain Falls Autumn Festival, and then potentially the Petite Le Mans IMSA race down at Road Atlanta. So it'll hit the road soon. It is available. So Jeff Williams or Mark Eisenhart can help you. Ask price, MSRP on this coach is $3.15 million.
Awesome. Well, Jimmy, we really appreciate the opportunity to get a first look at this coach. And folks can contact either Jeff or Mark if they want to schedule a seeing or just purchase this coach.
Yes.
And if someone wants to custom build a new Featherlite, what's the best steps to go about that?
Same thing is get in touch with us, Mark, Jeff, myself, and we can work with you on a custom build. So we are pre-selling build slots into 26 now. I think our next available slot is probably a May timeframe. We usually like to have about 3 months in advance to sort out paint scheme and get started on the interior design package. Then by the time the shell is at our plant, we're going to need about 6 or 7 months to complete the build, depending on the complexity of what you're asking for. But we're really known for taking customization to another level, so we've got the capability to do just about whatever you ask.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing some of the new coaches you build.
Yep.
And we'll leave all of your information in the description below. If
Great.
someone's out there is ready to become the next owner of this coach, a great opportunity on a very well-spec'd double slide. So, well, Jimmy, thank you very much for your time, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Andrew. Really appreciate you guys coming to make the visit. We're excited to introduce this coach with you on your YouTube channel.
Really an honor. We also appreciate all of you out there liking and sharing and subscribing. We hope you're all having a great day. Thanks.
Andrew, you are filming it for the first time, even outside of us. From where I'm sitting, it just feels super smooth. We are absolutely convinced this is the safest platform in the RV industry. I push every button. I get on my hands and knees inside, crawl through the coach looking for any fit finish issues that need to be addressed. We're really known for taking customization to another level, so we've got the capability to do just about whatever you ask.